Just before writing this script, I privated my Story of Future BEERUS video for a few reasons, but none more than the general viewer dissatisfaction that I saw in the comment section. I generally stand with what I said in that video, but we'll elaborate more on it here. This is a video that takes place in the main timeline as opposed to the future timeline, but we are covering a lot of the same ground, so without further ado, let's get into it. The year is age 778. Deep in the living universe, inside a golden nebula, lies a pyramid-shaped planet that is the home to the god of destruction of Universe 7, BEERUS. An explosion goes off, and BEERUS awakens to find out that 39 years have already passed. It is finally the year that BEERUS was told he'd find his greatest rival, the Super Saiyan God. The beginning plays out very similarly to the main timeline. BEERUS is feeling like he's forgotten something. He goes around destroying planets and slowly recalls the reason he woke up early. He finally says a name, Super Saiyan God. And after he validates the name with the Oracle Fish, BEERUS is ready to begin his hunt. BEERUS begrudgingly admits that he shouldn't have given Freeza permission to destroy Planet Vegeta before speaking with the Oracle Fish, and asks Whis if Freeza actually went through with it. Whis replies yes, but says some of the Saiyans are still alive in the universe. This news makes BEERUS instantly very happy, and he asks where he can find Freeza now, hoping that the Saiyans that are still alive are still under his rule. But Whis says that won't be possible. Freeza has been dead for the past 14 years. This news left BEERUS astounded. He truly believed that no one would be able to defeat Freeza other than himself. The answer to who killed Freeza was even more of a shock. "My lord, it appears that a Saiyan managed to defeat Freeza." Whis further explains that the Saiyan seems to be using a transformation called Super Saiyan, which multiplied his power and allowed him to defeat Freeza. BEERUS is annoyed at the fact that this isn't a Super Saiyan God and is just merely a Super Saiyan, but he still asks Whis where the Saiyan is now. Whis checks his staff and has to report that the Saiyan is on King Kai's planet. This Saiyan was on a planet that was fairly far away by BEERUS' standards, so he asks Whis if there are any other living Saiyans that are closer to his planet. Using his staff, once again Whis locates 7 Saiyans. 4 are currently on Earth, however 3 of them are the children of Saiyan and Earthlings, making them hybrids. The 4th is a full-blooded Saiyan, the son of King Vegeta in fact. There is one in the deep recesses of space known as Tarbell, another one of King Vegeta's children, but he's astonishingly weak compared to the others. And the other 2 are on a remote and inhospitable world known as Vampa. These 2 are in fact pure-blood Saiyans, and Vampa isn't particularly far from here. The weak second prince was out of the question, so BEERUS ponders the choice, Earth or Vampa. The 2 go back and forth in his head as he tries to figure out which one sounds like it'd have better food. But he shakes off that train of thought, and once again calls the Oracle Fish to him. He asks the Oracle Fish if the Super Saiyan God is purely Saiyan, or it is a Saiyan hybrid. And after deliberating it briefly, the Oracle Fish says that the Super Saiyan God is 100% Saiyan. BEERUS lets out an exhaustive sigh of relief as he no longer has to make a decision. It is now clear that their destination is Vampa. BEERUS tells Whis to quickly pack a lunch as they're going to head out immediately. Whis responds that they should eat before they go as the trip to Vampa will only take around 10 minutes. BEERUS would rather an even quicker trip, but it wasn't terrible. It has to be this way if he hopes to find someone that will truly rival his power and entertain him at long last. BEERUS eats his lunch quickly, growing ever impatient, and Whis readies to travel to Vampa. BEERUS steps outside and meets Whis. "This better not waste my time." Whis replies, "Only time will tell," letting out a knowing smile as he speaks. The 2 of them are on course for Vampa, and arrive on the planet in just under 10 minutes. As they land, BEERUS quickly realizes that this planet is lacking any civilization, so the chance of finding good food is slim. Earth was seeming like the better choice, but if he couldn't find the Super Saiyan God on planet Vampa soon, there may still be time to pay a visit to Earth. The impact of BEERUS and Whis landing was loud enough that Paragus could identify and locate its source. To his surprise, it was two men that he'd never seen before, and there wasn't a ship in sight. Still, after 46 years of isolation and harsh survival, Paragus had little interest in delaying his actions due to questions that he had no answers for, not yet at least. Just as he had in the main timeline, Paragus ran as fast as he could to these visitors. Well, that didn't take long. Paragus, out of sheer necessity, bows to these two anonymous figures, hoping to gain their favor by showing them respect. After introducing himself as Paragus, he explains his current situation to Whis and BEERUS. Paragus then drops to the ground, begging that BEERUS and Whis help him and his son however they can. However, BEERUS was only half listening. His mind started to wander as he got bored of what he saw in front of him. He asks Whis if all Saiyans having black hair was actually wrong, and Whis replies, "It appears, my lord, that this Saiyan has made it into his 80s. That's the age when Saiyans begin to rapidly age, a very rare sight for the warrior race." BEERUS introduces himself as the god of destruction, and Whis as his attendant. Paragus is taken aback by the fact that BEERUS is a god. He had heard rumors that King Vegeta worked for someone above Freeza on occasion, and this god might be that very person. BEERUS gives Paragus a once-over and says aloud that he's not the Super Saiyan God. This leads to him demanding that Paragus brings the other Saiyan, and should this other Saiyan be the Super Saiyan God, or at least somewhat entertaining to BEERUS, then they will get off this planet. However, if BEERUS is not entertained, he'll destroy them both without hesitation. That was all he needed to hear. Paragus yells for BROLY, who flies over instantly, surveying the area for the monster spiders of Vampa. BEERUS' eyes narrow as he assesses BROLY. "Whis," BEERUS says calmly. "I think this one's different." Paragus explains the situation to BROLY and that BROLY needs to fight with everything he has, but don't kill him. So, BROLY looks towards BEERUS, his face snarls up seeing BEERUS as a threat, and without warning, he launches forward at the God of Destruction. BROLY launches his attacks wildly, swinging with little finesse or tact, and BEERUS easily evades all of those strikes. "Your power is impressive, easily beyond Freeza and anyone else in this universe, but you lack technique. Perhaps you aren't the god I'm looking for after all. Just another Saiyan upstart who's attacking with barbaric moves." However, BEERUS was wrong. BROLY was learning as he fights. His punches became sharper, his kicks traveled smoother, and his technique quickly became more refined. BEERUS noticed this and quickly output more power to keep up with BROLY. It got to the point that BEERUS needed to start blocking as well as dodging, and he was even starting to feel the need to counterattack. He wasn't doing this out of courtesy or respect. This was a necessity. BEERUS still had the overwhelming power and technical advantage, but BROLY was getting stronger over the course of battle, until one punch finally landed on BEERUS. This enraged BEERUS, who retaliated by slamming BROLY into the ground with a glimpse of his true power. That made it immediately clear. BROLY was never going to catch up to BEERUS at this rate. BROLY thought about this god destroying Paragus and himself, and his rage began to boil. His Ikari power began to waken, and BEERUS smiled as he sensed the growth in power, the growth in BROLY. This fight was the fight he was looking for, the battle he'd waited years for. Excitement built up inside him, but then BROLY's collar began to shock him intensely, and BROLY lost consciousness, reverting back to base form. Paragus had no way to sense power. All he knew was that BROLY was losing control, and when he does, he becomes a threat to the entire universe. Should Broly kill Beerus and Whis, they'd never leave this planet. But Paragus had clearly misread the situation, and Beerus' rage began to surface. His head quickly turned to Paragus, who was still holding the remote in his hand. Beerus instantly appeared in front of Paragus and said, "Congratulations! You've ruined your chances of escaping this planet alive." With that, Paragus is destroyed. Beerus looks back at Broly, who is now unconscious due to Paragus' shock, and Beerus walks to Whis. He tells him he's destroying the planet, and looks down at Broly once again. "Do the other Saiyans possess power that comes close to his?" Whis looks at his staff and replies that Broly should be the strongest living Saiyan by far. "Fine, we're taking him with us then, and you'll train him to be my rival. I saw your smirk earlier, so I guess you see something in him too." Whis laughs at what Beerus said, and the two fly into space with Broly. Vampa is destroyed, Paragus is dead, and Beerus returns to his world with Whis and Broly. But what will happen to Earth? What will happen to the universe? What becomes of this Broly who's taught by Whis? I think that's a story for another day. Thanks for watching.